Peter Gabriel being considered to be the difficult and all that by Tony Banks and Rutherford, and Mike Rutherford was more like an alliance with Banks, and Collins was in the way, or not in the way, but the glue rather, I want to say. In the all this bullshit, but it's probably all hype, right? There's no doubt in my military mind they wouldn't have existed if they weren't getting paid, and that's just the way of the world. And here I am, in my opposite attraction over here of why am I a musician, or why am I even caring about this nonsense? It's like a comic book I won't put down. I have quit music over the years. I have dropped out completely. I joined a monastery, a Russian Orthodox monastery. My son was born. I've given it up. This has very little value to me. It just seems to be that I can't do nothing else. That I've always used drums as a medium to keep me feeling like I'm still breathing when I wasn't able to do anything else. I've always worked myself out through playing the drums. It wasn't exactly my own music. I was always drumming along the records and radios and other people's music and things, and other people's projects. It's just been so long that I've gelled with people in general that I feel like the Sid Barrett of my own mind over here. But I have left my mother's basement a long time ago. I mean, I'm not the guy that's just having flashbacks that I can't communicate. Reality's too much. I take reality on. I don't like what reality has deemed me to be in the past 20, 25 years. That, I had a discharge upgrade from the United States Army 14 years after I left it. I've been walking around with the status of equivalent to a felon that was overturned 14 years later, and not for nothing, that's where I become Jekyll and Hyde, and the schizo side of me comes out, that I recognize, shit, I got 15 years of who was giving me the finger, and who was overlooking me, and who was shelving me, and who was giving me the, no consideration, no veteran preferences for employment. And I had to eat every piece of shit job and take all their shit, telling me that I broke a toilet at I won't say. I want to say the title, Holland Farms Bakery. I remember I had. It's when I met my son's mother. The first summer I met her, I had to go on unemployment from that job. They didn't want to give me unemployment. They told the unemployment worker that I had broken their toilet, which was a toilet. The day I walked in there, they gave me an apron. I went in and changed my apron. I went to the bathroom. The toilet overflowed. They said I broke the toilet. Not at that time. At the time, they said, just, can you get the mop? I said, sure, I'll pick up the mop. Cleaned it up. It was after I left the job, or how the job, they terminated me. I got terminated. I remember that. This is I don't know. This had to be like '97. And I remember they said to the unemployment guy, he broke the toilet. That's why we don't want to give him the unemployment. I'll never, I've eaten every, like frat kind of, fraternity kind of, haze kind of informal, blow off. They blew me off. I've been blown off and told, so much shit in my head. I've got so much. I've been trying to let it go. I've used medication from doctor's prescription, and been a self-medicating personality, to try to keep people out of my fucking head, more or less. That, took me as a fucking idiot. All right. No matter what I did to try to make the situation work out, or how hard I tried to work, and I've been treated like a piece of shit. And maybe I'm socialized that way now, but I'm fighting my way up. I've been saying that for years. I haven't felt like I had any real friends in a long time, and not for nothing, but I was only a good friend to most of the people I've known, so long as I bought them something, or I bought the wine, I bought the weed, and then I had I lived with priests that were questionable status and all this. not for nothing. Everybody must think I'm a fucking weirdo. I was a substitute teacher. I was for high school. I was an emotional kids that had disabled kids with personality problems. I was a sub teacher. I didn't hurt nobody. I got people to work, kids to work and like me. You know, for a short time, I was at the school, the BOCES school it was called. And I did my job. They shorted me pay back then. I remember I couldn't get the pay back no matter what I said. They just shorted me on the check, no problem. I mean, I gotta let it all go. If I could be informal and meet maybe I need a rabbi, right? You know what I mean? I don't know. I did trust. I am a Catholic, I guess. I took the sacraments last year. My son got his communion, but then he's only in the, I don't know why, but they gave him first communion, first confession, first communion, and confirmation in one civil ceremony. And he was only in the fourth, fifth grade, I remember, or fifth grade, I think it was. I don't even remember, but so that was a church year. I went to church all the time with him for Easter season, and after that, I kind of got tired of going. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. It's a dark night of the soul for probably the majority of the world. I haven't been. I haven't been able to keep up with the economy and the war and all this bullshit. I have a lot of mixed feelings about why there's an Israel, why there's a Pakistan, why there's a Taliban, why there's a Jerusalem, why there's a this. I don't know what the hell's going on. I just see the people and how they behave. And I'm sure that's the standard of the world underneath it all that keeps us in a civil society in the developed part of the world. I'm not against anybody that I'm aware of in China. I like Chinese food. I think everybody else better because they're going to be running the show. It's not a communist thing. It's an economics. There's a World Bank, and there's people who are not in debt, and there's people who are loaning. It's as simple as that. I say we got to feed everybody. If you're born, you're supposed to be fed, and if possible, loved. You're supposed to have the ability to reproduce. And you're supposed to have the ability to find somebody to love who's going to love you back. That's my common denominator. And anybody, and there's most of us aren't. Most of us don't. They don't have their needs met. I would give up a meal. I don't eat that much every day, but I am packing on. I'm a glutton. But I would give up a meal a day if it meant having a few hours with somebody that I want to be around. And I don't know about that soulmate thing anymore. And like I say, I gotta admit, I'm not gonna be gay. No matter what I see on the internet or what I look at in the popular culture, it's a learning tool to me. But I can't be a homosexual man. So I'm looking for a woman to communicate these thoughts and ideas to. The day that ever happens that I can ever trust somebody, that it's gonna be over time. But I wanted to meet people, and I like to think that I'm going to have heart-to-heart conversations and relate to people personally again, and especially a good woman. I'm 40 years old. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I'm sick of everybody who turned their back on me and left me, or thought I wasn't worthy to keep spending time with. But not for nothing, I still think I am. that's all. So it keeps going back to I want to know who I am. I'm not lost in space, and hopefully, touch ground somewhere, and break bread.